I don't know what's happening.
Hi everyone, welcome to Spiritual Talk. It's 8 o'clock, it's Wednesday night, and you're with Jane and myself tonight.
Hi everyone.
Hi Jane.
Hi Alice, I really like that introduction of you're sitting in a chair and I'm sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Did you see that? That was great.
Yeah, did you see it? Yeah, no.
I did.
Yeah, it was cool. Come on.
I was not
cool.
expecting that at all. So that was awesome.
Well, how are you, Jane? It's been a little while since we worked together. So
It has. Yes, the last time the guest didn't show up, and this time the guest did. So
yeah,
moving in the right direction.
I remember that night. Oh wow!
I do remember that night. It was terrifying.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think we did well considering.
Oh, I think that we did. And, I still have friends contacting me saying that they've still watched that show and say how hilarious it was. So that's a good bonus for us.
Yeah, that was our first night together as well.
It was. And we got the same memo again. So we're both wearing pink.
I couldn't believe that when you said, are you wearing pink? And I was like, oh, I wore this before, but honestly, I have got other clothes in the wardrobe. I have really.
And I haven't worn this sweater for a number of years, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to wear this today. So, and here we are.
Here we are tonight. Yeah.
So tonight's guest, her name is Maria Simonsen, and she's actually a friend of mine. She was a client turned friend and still a client. She's a fabulous lady. She is an intuitive guide, an artist, and a gifted light language healer. She received COT teachings directly from an unbroken lineage of teachers that can be traced back to more than 26 generations. And these teachings can help transform and reshape your life. So how about we bring her on? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, hi, Maria.
Hi, Alice, Jane.
Welcome to Spiritual
Maria.
Talk.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are a riot.
Yeah, Paul's not on tonight.
Right.
You guys are having fun.
We are.
Yeah.
So
it's lovely to meet you, Maria. It's lovely to meet you. This sounds really interesting tonight.
Yeah, very nice to meet you too.
So Maria, yeah. Okay. So you do light language, correct?
Yes.
And so what drew you to do light language?
What drew me to do light language? Well, it was back in 2020. We all remember, right? The pandemic. It was right about when the pandemic hit. And I remember I was doing, at that time, I was doing a lot of Kundalini yoga. I was very much into doing it. It was a deep practice for me, every day, very committed. And then the pandemic hit and I was drawn somehow. I don't know. It was a very strange occurrence, but I somehow saw I'm never on Facebook. And I somehow was on Facebook and somebody had posted something about light language. And it was it was a real short blurb about somebody just mentioning something about it. And I just went down the rabbit hole of that, clicking through some link, then something taking me somewhere else. And then for some reason, I don't know why, I even questioned myself while I was looking for more information, like, what is going on? Why am I so drawn to this? And it was actually really hard to find my teacher. My teacher, her name is Karen Orr Atari, and she is in Brazil. So my teacher's from Brazil, and I was just so drawn to it. From there, I received a 12 chakra light language grid from someone who had learned from her, because I wanted to experience the grid. I wanted to know, why am I so drawn to this? What is going on? And I received that grid, and afterwards I need to learn more. And so then I was drawn to her, working with her, and I went through the beginning, the intermediate, and all the way through the advanced level. And I didn't really think that I would go on to the advanced level, but I did. And yeah, I'm glad that I did. So that's how I was introduced to it and drawn to that.
So what exactly is light language?
So I think there's a lot of people, and I'm not exactly sure of your audience, but there's a lot about light language right now. If you YouTube, if you search for it on YouTube or Instagram or things like that, I think you'll see a lot. And I think, and a lot of it looks different. And so when I say, when I give a different definition of what light language is, I don't want anyone to think of it as the definitive definition of light language, because I only know what I have received. And so what I have received is basically sacred geometry coupled with color, light, and this combination of physics, which I believe is what you would commonly see when you Google it, right? And you go to YouTube or Instagram and you see that some people are signing it, speaking it, singing it, drawing it. But as I understand it, and from what I have been given in the Caught teachings, is that it is this combination of what I just said, the geometry, color, light, and bringing those things together to create what my teacher has kind of said is like an unspoken prayer to the universe. It is delivering an intention to the universe in a way that the universe can clearly understand it. Because with our language and the way that we are talking, the way I'm talking, that our words can get somehow, there's different meanings, right? For different people, for the exact same word that we're each saying, right? Different perspectives. And so using the light, the geometry, and the color together, it's almost as if I'm kind of using the alphabet of the universe in order to speak and give that intention, that prayer, so that they can respond in turn with the energy that we are requesting.
It does sound quite complicated though, Maria, I must admit. It does.
It is.
For my brain anyway.
No, it is. It's extremely overwhelming. And I remember during my training, my education, I would be so exhausted after my trainings. And we would ask our teacher the next day, like, what happened? Yesterday was only 4 or 6 hours of training, right? And she would let us know that is us integrating the Caught teachings. And so we're bringing in, what is it? Over 10,000 pieces of information, right? Per second or something like that. And then with this teaching, it's exhausting. And what I really love about this is that the possibilities are infinite, because there are so many shapes, so many colors to combine, that really the possibilities are infinite. And that is what attracted me to it, because there's so much to learn from it.
What does it look like? What does the grids look like?
I actually have one.
see?
So Maria
Yeah.
has written me quite a few grids. So you can't really see what it's for, but this is, she always says to print them out and put them somewhere. Well, you can explain that, Maria. This is all about you.
So,
Oh yeah, they're pretty
yeah,
cool.
I think that one right there, that is a 49 shape grid. So there's different types of grids for different types of situations. So we would use a practitioner, if you find one, right, that would build a grid, they should find out what is the type of situation that we're addressing, right? Because there are some things that are chronic, like physical illnesses in the body and things like that, that would require probably a stronger grid. There's a grid that's 144 shapes. I'm also trained in doing eternal Mobius grids, which I find they're just fascinating.
What is that? What is
Yeah,
that?
what is that?
Oh, the eternal Mobius grid is really quite special. It works on the spectrum of forever. And I'm really drawn to it because I feel like it is one of those tools that we can use in this lifetime that can affect somebody's soul, right? Their experience from now and beyond. And I've written a few grids. I'm very selective in doing the eternal Mobius grids because I don't think a lot of people can fathom forever in their heads. It's really quite special, but it works with the singularity. And I can't really explain too much about that, but it takes two 49 shape grids and it places a singularity grid in the middle so that I actually physically create an eternal Mobius, and then the intention is set. And there's like some prayer, there is like some ceremony. It's short, but there is some ceremony around it, and then it's set and done.
So when you create a grid, how do you know which shapes and colors to use?
Well, in the beginning, it was pretty hard because I was thinking I was creating grids mostly from my mind, right? And trying to solve people's issues. I've written grids for as young as 2 years old, all the way up past to 80 years old, for things for love, money, business, physical health, you name it, self-love. And I was really trying to resolve the issue, right, through the mind. But then I quickly learned that my soul actually knew exactly what needed to come through. And so I then decided to develop that skill in my communication with my soul. I call it my soul, but maybe it's my highest self, but I call it my soul, right? And so what I typically do is that I'll meditate for a moment, I'll set an intention, a prayer, I'll set the space, and then I just allow for the information to come in. And what I do now is that rather than looking at the grid and saying, okay, well, so for example, maybe Jane wants a grid for physical stamina or something. She wants to run a marathon or something, right? So she needs stamina or something like that, right? And so instead of me looking and searching through this infinite possibilities of what could be available to her, the energies that could be available to her to help her, get to that next point with her stamina, I allow my soul to come in and pick the ones that need to come in for her. And that has proven more effective. Those grids have proven more effective for my clients and actually have given them more synchronicities and really like a lot of aha moments than the grids that I had made previously with just my mind, like my brain. My brain is going to figure this out. Like, oh, she's going to need energy over here, or she's going to need, some healing over here and this and that. I've just allowed for spirit or my soul to come in and bring those resolutions because I know that my soul comes in as a master healer into this world. So I'm going to tap into those skills.
So I
So
actually have
sorry.
one. It is really fascinating. Like I've received I don't know, 3 or 4 grids, something like that from you. I actually have one in my bedroom right now, and every time I see it, it's a 7 chakra grid, correct? Every time I see it,
12 chakra.
12 chakra. Sorry,
Yeah.
yes, you're right, 12 chakra. And every time I see it, I actually run my finger down it, and I sorry, I got something in my mouth. I run my finger down it, and I run my finger across the word at the bottom. I'm not going to say what the word is, but I run my finger across the word at the bottom, and I just feel so energized and happy from it. And the very first time I bought a grid from her, it was actually, I'm just going to say, it was a love grid. And it was funny because at the top of the grids, I'm not going to read this, but she will write, you know, what it is for and whatever else, a whole bunch of stuff. And I realized that the wording, I brought up with her that the wording was a little bit off. But what I got from that grid was self-love, which was pretty amazing because a lot of the boundaries and patterns that I had placed on myself, it was very strange. They just dropped away, and I started to see people differently. I started to see, I can't even say, but everything just changed. And from that grid, which just looks like numbers and colors on a piece of paper, it's a lot more than that because, you know, they're wherever they are. But I just received so much self-love for myself. It was incredible. So the grid actually did what it was meant to do in a roundabout way. I think we were both astonished by that, you know, that we're like, what?
Yeah. You know? I like people, I really, the grid, the actual physical, you know, thing that you have, it's really, I kind of consider it like a receipt, right? It's not like, it's the receipt that you get, you know, knowing like, okay, here's my order, right?
Right. Yeah.
Here we go. But yeah, the work happens before that, right? And then there's the grid. And yeah, I mean, it's been hard me doing this over, you know, 3 years now. It's been difficult to come to terms with what you mean. That's what's happening. Isn't there more? Don't I need to do more in order for this to happen? But it always brings me back to the teachings that I received. And that this is the path, right? That I have been able to, I've received the teachings. And so now I can do this. Anybody can do this, really. So yeah. And when you were describing your grid, Jane, a lot of people describe the grids to me. And I love the way that this one man put it, is that it puts him in the arena for things to happen, right? So like if you're wanting a grid for more financial abundance or more just recognition, you know, love from your partner, things like that. It puts you into the place where those things can happen, and it moves things around energetically for that pathway to be very clear. It's clear, it's there. We're bringing you to the moment, the space that's needed in order for this healing or progress to happen. And a lot of my clients have also, I think I mentioned earlier that they've experienced some mystical too, and some really powerful synchronicities in their lives with their family members, people in their lives, where they've called me on the phone like at random times and are just like, this just happened, and I just know that it was the grid because this couldn't have happened any other way. And so yeah.
So is there like any sort of subject that the grid can't be used for?
Well, it's always for the highest good, right, of the individual. And the grid won't work if I don't have the person's highest self, their soul's permission, right? But I've never encountered that. I have encountered, though, where some people have a certain limit of how many grids can be, I call it like on them. There's grids that are with them, right? For some reason, some people shouldn't have more than a few grids on them at a time, I've received. But no, there really isn't. It's for the highest good, and you can't do anything that is not in accordance to universal laws, right? And so we cannot wish ill on someone, things like that. But yeah, there really isn't anything that we can't address. I mean, we can address actual even physical environments. My teacher actually just texted me yesterday and said to all of her students, build grids for Turkey and Syria. And so we can do them for community groups. We can do them for governments. We can do them for the earth. We can do on the individual basis, on a business, anything.
So with each grid, and I know from experience, and especially the one I'm looking at here, you do have a date. So my grid for this one, it says it's by July 7th, 2023. So is there a cutoff date for the grids, or do they go on forever?
Well, like I was saying earlier, the Eternal Mobius grid, that one's forever, right? The 144 shape grid, that also works on over a year. The 49 shape grid, which is the one that you have, is the only one that works with a specific title and a specific date. And there are no, I basically choose the dates, and that just comes in. So no, there's not really a, how would you say it?
Have you found anything though, Jane, from the grid that you can say has kind of happened or going on in your life? Just
so yes, so there's this one grid that I do have here. I actually have another one behind me that is, I don't know if you can see it. There's another one there, which people don't usually see. So that one, I'm not going to say what that one's for either. But that one has definitely, it has definitely, I don't know how to say it. Marie, you know what it's for, but it's definitely increased what it was written for. And same as this one too. So anytime I'm lacking in the area that this grid was written for, I will actually just look at it and kind of touch it with my hand. Maria doesn't ever say to do this, but I like to touch things. As soon as I bring awareness to it, something will come in that the grid is written for.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that kind of reminds me, Alice, because you're asking Jane about what has happened. And I remember in our conversation when I first met Paul, he said that he saw silver. I don't know if you remember, Jane, but I was talking about light language. And he said that he saw silver coming from my mouth as I was speaking about light language. And so there's something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a...
But that's completely different from a grid, though. That's seeing something visible,
Oh, she's gone. Oh, dear. Oh, God, what happened? Oh, no. Oh, dear. I was just going to ask her a question.
Come on.
And she's gone. So she's gone off on the light language spectrum. She's gone. So I don't know. Oh, she's back. Oh, my gosh. What happened with the light language? Oh my gosh! So here's the question here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Every time we talk about
something
something happens.
Okay. So Paul asked, Maria, is light language the beginning of mankind evolution into greater understanding of the collective consciousness?
The beginning of mankind evolution into great. Yeah, that's interesting because I do think so. And the 12 chakra grid, as people elevate, right, themselves, their frequency, as we begin to, as many people say, ascend, right, we are making ourselves more available and accessing different levels, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's my hope, and it's kind of my mission to get people to understand a little bit more that their light needs just as much as attention as their physical being, their spiritual being, their mental health as well, because we are accessing different levels right now, the way that humanity is right now. And so it's almost as if it's kind of like light hygiene. I almost want to think of it, right? We want to take care of ourselves. We also want to take care of our aura. And that is how light language works. It's set in your aura. And so, yeah, I can't see his question again.
I can bring it up.
To greater understanding of the collective consciousness. I definitely think so. And it's assisting us as well in that forward movement, because as we progress, through as a human race, we're understanding more and more every day. And so to leave our physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional bodies behind would be, I think, a miss, right? And so we need to take care of ourselves from our frequency, right? Our light, because we all understand that we are light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's very interesting, though. There is so much out there that we've still to investigate as well, and I think we're improving all the time, really, aren't we?
Right.
Compared to like 40 years ago, but how long would you, well, for when I say 40 years ago, I mean us maybe knowing more about it, but obviously this has been around for a long time.
Yeah. And that was what I'm Mexican, by the way. So I'm half Mexican, half Norwegian. I was born in Mexico. And when I heard that this was from an unbroken lineage of 26 generations from Mexican curanderos, so Mexican healers, that was also definitely a draw to me, because that is my heritage. Yeah. And it's something that I grew up around, right? With we call my abuelita, which is my grandmother, right? And doing certain things, and some things now make sense, right? Now that I'm older. So yeah.
Mexico, I've been to Mexico.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. A different part, I think, was Cancun.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, very
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm not changing the subject.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, just a bit.
Do you write, or can you write grids for yourself?
Yes, I can. Yeah, that's a bonus. I can write grids for myself, and it's funny because I think I only have maybe one on myself right now. You can, those 49 shape grids, you can have up to 49 of them on you.
Okay.
Of those. I really should have a 12 chakra grid on me, but I don't at the time. It's just been, life's been really busy. But yes, I can write them for myself, and I have. And however, I've also spoken to my teacher about this, and many of the healers who are on here right now, or light workers, will probably understand that for some reason, the grids for myself don't work as well as the ones that I make for others. Yeah. So isn't that always the case?
Yeah, it's kind of like reading for yourself,
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
You have to go
I think
somewhere
that's
else.
quite hard. I think that'd be very hard to do for yourself.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know that it takes 3 days to activate. I only know this because Maria and I have written grids together. We went through Spirit, and we just, trial and error. We just, it was like a little small business venture, and we would get Spirit to pick the number. She'd say, how would you say it? Like number for the color, and then number for the shape kind of thing.
Right.
And we did come up with quite a few grids, which was fun. A lot of giggles.
Fun. Mm-hmm.
But I know that it takes 3 days to activate a grid. So can you tell us more about that?
It takes 3 days to activate a 12 chakra grid. The 49 shape grid and the other grids that I can do don't take it that much time. But the 12 chakra grid takes 3 days, and it's a process of me setting an intention at the same time. It has to be consecutive. If I break the sequence, I have to start over again. And so have to set an alarm, right, to get back to it. But I have to create the grid, and then I need the person's name, and then I set the intention for that person every single day for 3 days. So it's not super time intensive, but it's a commitment, and it's the intention. That's what a lot of my clients say, is that they're amazed by the intention that is set behind the grids. They really feel it once they receive them. And I can see that. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you get many business from companies that want grids?
I haven't gone down that road yet, but I would love to. That's a part of my plan. I really do see this as everyone should have a grid on them. It's, to me, I consider it, like I've said, hygiene for your vibration, your frequency. It's something that I think everyone should take advantage of. And we're talking from infants to your deathbed, really. And I envision it everywhere because it can address everything. And so why wouldn't we? If we have access to this, and so many more people are receiving this,
yeah,
I would think that it's because we need to use it, right?
Yeah.
It's because we need it.
So does anybody have any questions out there in the world? Questions?
Let's see. I seen someone earlier on put, is this not like a spell? Which it isn't.
No.
It isn't. No. But someone had put that on earlier on.
Is this not like a spell?
Yeah.
I think they mean,
Yeah, they said this sounds like someone casting a spell.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I mean, if we really look at that deeply, casting a spell is also with intention, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming I don't cast spells.
No, completely different though.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's what she kind of wanted to know. So
right.
So here's another question, also from Paul. How is light language change your perspective on life, Maria?
That's a good question.
He has good questions.
How it's changed my perspective on life is that one of the major things is the amount of power that we have within ourselves to change our lives. And I find it so amazing to know that we have so many tools, right, at our disposal, or people, right, that we can get in contact with that can help us get through anything, right? But the way that it's changed my perspective on life is that I have had a greater amount of peace in my life than I've ever had before. I have been able to let go of things that I thought I was never going to be able to get off my back, right? And I'm able now to appreciate and really take in some of the things that before I couldn't see, right? And I think that is also part of the perspective thing, is that I'm able to see energetically what is happening right in front of me. And what is, I think, particular to myself is that I now can draw back and feel what the collective needs. It'll take some time. It takes time for me. It'll take like maybe a week or two. But then it'll all of a sudden come in, and this is the grid that needs to be created, whether it be for a community or a situation that's happening in the world, or even to a friend, right? I'll reach out to them and let them know, hey, this came in. But I'm much more at peace than I've ever been.
Yeah. Someone's just asking you, do you have to go into a meditative state to receive the code? And how long would that take if you did?
I don't have to get into a meditative state. I like to meditate beforehand, just because it allows for me to feel that connection to soul much greater. But I know that that connection has never gone away, right? And that applies to everyone who's watching, is that never goes away. It's always there for you. Everyone is able to do this. But yes, I like to meditate beforehand. I probably don't have to, but I like to. And then it's really just, the word is allow, is can everybody allow for this to come in for themselves? And so it's really just opening up that gate and allowing for the information to come in, and then not questioning it. Really, the trust has to be there.
Yeah. I suppose it's got to be, though, hasn't it? A little bit of self-belief in it as well. If you're going to ask, for someone to do that. It's a bit like if someone comes for a reading for you, it's a lot more easier if they come genuinely wanting a reading than coming to you just to try and test your skills in some way. So so it has to, I quite agree with you, be receptive on all parties. The
intention needs to be there from them as well, because I mean, we all know that they clients, they need to have their part in it as well, right? And
well, I can see that it's done wonders for you, which is good. But I'm sure there's many more you've probably helped along the way. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, I've worked with a lot of people. It's been amazing, really, to see the difference in needs and the difference in age groups. And the different needs that come with that. And yeah, I mean, I was in disbelief too, until I was hearing directly from clients about what they felt, what their experience was. And then when the like Jane's grid, a 49 shape grid that has a deadline on it, and then to hear about some of the things that happen right in the beginning. Typically those grids, especially the 49 shape grid, there's a lot happening right at the beginning. People see shifts within hours, sometimes maybe as long as a week, where there's an energetic shift that is very noticeable to them. And that always warms my heart, because that's usually what somebody needs. But then it continues to work. So like the 49 shape grid that Jane has, you'll notice that it's in columns, right? It's a grid. And the energy is moving up and down through the grid. And it's in a continuum that is happening throughout the whole time. And some people will say, well, where am I on the grid? And I'm like, you're everywhere on the grid, because it's it's moving through it, right? But it's also all happening at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds interesting. It's something completely different.
So this grid yesterday, I looked at it, and then I acquired something yesterday, which I won't say what, which you all know. But I looked at this grid before I actually received what the thing was. So
Amazing.
you know, it helped to pull it in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And my awesomeness as well. So Paul asks, can we all receive light codes?
Does he mean if we're all able to, or is he asking
so.
me?
I think, are we all able to receive light codes?
I mean, I would say yes. I've never heard of anyone not being able to, but I do believe that we all can. I also believe that some of us don't want light codes, right? But I believe that on a soul level, this is actually how can I say? It's primary, I think, before any other language that we've ever picked up. This is our first language, right? And so I think it's our bodies, our minds, our souls, our spirits are actually more receptive to the light codes and know in an instant what is happening, right? So our light body knows exactly what to do with this light that it's receiving.
Okay, there's another great question here. Does it help with grief and finding purpose in your life?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Short, simple answer.
Yeah, it definitely does.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Alice, do you have any questions?
If someone is suffering with grief then, and they came to you and they got a grid, then would they look at that then daily and get the power from the grid to help them through their grief?
Yeah, I've had people do that actually. So sometimes I will receive the actual location where someone should place their grid. It's not a requirement that someone actually needs to print out their grid that I send to them, that I create for them, and place it anywhere. But I find that people find it very comforting and that they can actually feel the energy, just like Jane described. They can actually feel something coming from it. And so I began to receive actual physical locations that people should print their grid out and place it. I've had it where people had to have it in their bathroom. You know, or in their bedroom, or, you know, office, or, you know, something like that. And so people do receive in the presence of it something, and it's what they need, right?
Yeah.
Here's another question. So Lou asks, do you have to be face to face for you to do the grid, or can you do it online?
Do I have to be face to face for me to do the grid? Well, I build the grid. I don't, if what they mean is, do I need to be face to face with the client to do the grid? No. I build the grid. So I find out what somebody needs, right? And I'll discuss it with them either on the phone or through Zoom or whatever. And then I'll go back and build the grid, work with, you know, who I work with, and then send the grid to the client. And so once my work is done, even before I send the grid to the client, it is done, right? The grid is out, it is activated. So like I said, I kind of consider the actual physical grid as a receipt, but it actually brings a lot of comfort to people and energy to people as well. I've had one client who I told her she needed to put it in her bedroom, but unfortunately she put it on her headboard by her pillow where she sleeps at night, which is way too close. And she ended up sleepwalking that night, which she never has before. So people actually have like physical responses to the energy shifts that happen with these grids. So she texted me the next day and told me what happened. I said, you need to move that away from your headboard. Not so close.
So Lou asks, how many shapes are there altogether?
Altogether, there are over 300. And in terms of color, there are over, I believe, 157, something like that. And so the combination of all of those is just, it can be overwhelming sometimes when you try to look at it through the mind.
Here's another question. Does the grid work look like an energetic key with your own environment or at a higher level of consciousness?
I would say both. I think because it's embedded within your aura, you know, you are with your aura, right? And so wherever you go in this physical environment, I think for that, it does work like an energetic key within your own environment. But as we were talking about earlier, as we are ascending, right? As we are lifting our vibration, raising the collective consciousness, having access to these higher levels, that is only accessing us deeper and deeper, higher and higher, right? In order to change things, events, timelines. I've seen this change people's lives completely.
And Lori asks, sounds like a vision board sort of, but with symbols and colors.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I never thought of it like that. Yeah, I guess you could think of it like that a little bit. But it really is more of, it really is a tool. And the way that my teacher has explained it is that it's its own consciousness. We're working with the actual physical building blocks of the universe. And so I think of it sometimes as more of like a kit, right? I have all of these elements at my disposal that I can bring in together to create different combinations, different flavors, right? Of energy, healing, light, that coupled with the intention creates a very, very powerful message and prayer to the universe. And I've never seen a grid not do what it was intended for.
Yes, you know, sometimes it's when I first received this grid and the other ones I have received from you, the change in whatever the intention is generally came in quite fast, you know, quite quickly, like pretty much in my face sort of thing. It was like boom, boom, boom. And I have noticed like over time how it sort of, I don't want to say fizzles out, but it decreases until I bring my attention back to it, and then it increases again. And I know that so this grid, I recall you saying that it's a pretty powerful grid because of, I don't know, the center one, I think you said. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I thought to myself, I wonder if I should let Maria know she could increase the intensity of it, because it was because you know, we're all sensitive to energies. I'm always like, the more, just bring it all on kind of thing, just give me everything all at once kind of thing, make it more intense.
Right.
So I know that some people are uncomfortable with the energies emitted, and you said that you can turn them down or raise them up.
Right. Yeah, I always let people know that if it becomes too intense for them, and I don't want to scare anyone here, but you know, you will, a lot of people have physical sensations. So it could be a headache. Maybe they feel a little dizzy. Maybe they feel a little wobbly a bit, you know, moving throughout their day. That's all energetic. And so some people don't like to experience that discomfort, but it's just like, you know, I mean, if anyone has ever, you know, done a fast or something like that, right? It's releasing whatever needs to be released. letting that go and making room for the other, right? The improved light. Yeah. And so I will let clients know, if at all you feel any discomfort and it's not dissipating, it's not going away and you don't like it, just let me know and I can tone it down.
Yeah. Dot has put on, it seems a quicker way to move through spiritual development. What would you say about that?
I completely agree. And that is something that I really love about these, is because I don't want to make it sound like it's laziness, right? But it actually, it's almost as if you can, like a set it and forget it type of energy, where you can create this intention and allow for the light to work for you, right? Allow for it to work through you and work for you. It's all available to us. This is all, it's all available to us so that we can use. And so, yes, I do agree. I consider these grids to be energy efficient in a way too, because we all lead busy lives, right? We're all involved with so many things. And I'm sure that there are so many things that as an individual, we would love to work on. And I love how these grids can just be working in the background. They're always with you wherever you go, and they're working for your highest good, for the highest intention, and for what you want to bring in.
So you could say it's more like an addition then, really, isn't it? To what you're doing.
So I believe this is Tammy, but she's asked, could it help with losing weight or overeating? And she also asked, could it help with career guidance?
Career guidance. Yes. I mean, it can help with career guidance. So that would be something where I would talk to somebody. So it would help with career guidance. Okay. Because the title, if it's a 49 shape grid for somebody, we need to be very specific about what we're bringing in, because exactly what we're asking for is what will be brought in. And I don't think people understand how words can get a little muddy if we are not completely clear with what the intention should be. Yes, it can help with career guidance.
Yeah. I was going to ask, earlier on, you had said you can give a grid to someone who was 2 years of age.
Yeah.
Obviously, that would be to the mother or the father. So what would you expect then from that, from someone so young?
Well, so that's interesting. Yes, for the 2-year-old, first I have to have the permission of the person, right? And so the 2-year-old was not able to ask me for a light language grid, right?
Mom or dad.
So it is within the parents' like energetic right to ask for this for their child. And so up until a point, until they become adults, and that is different for everyone, right? But mostly, 18, 19, 20. Everyone else can ask for their own grid, but for children, right, underage adults, they can ask for their own if they can, or a parent or guardian can ask for one for them. And when it comes to a child, I double and triple make sure that I can do it for them, because there's an intermediary. But yeah, for the 2-year-old, it was for physical, right? Physical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can understand that. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Paul has asked if it should come up.
What's next for me on my journey?
On my end, I can't see it. Yeah.
You can't see it. Okay, I can see it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, for next. Yeah. Okay. So next would be probably to, well, not probably, but next is to get people to be more aware about this, and that it's available to them, and that really it's a part of, it should become a part of somebody's routine now, as we are advancing through the ages. we should be taking care of our light more than we have in the past. And so that is next. Some other things that are next, that we haven't touched upon that don't have anything to do with light language. But they would be some channeled writings and some other things that are in the works that will come out soon, but I'm not ready to discuss them yet.
No. Is there many books on this, Maria, for people to read up on?
Without
you giving authors, etc. But
there's the lineage holder actually resides in the United States, and her name is Star Fuentes. So the lineage holder is alive and lives in the United States, and she has thanks, Zoe. Some books out there. And those are the only ones that I'm familiar with, actually.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never read up on it at all, so
it is very interesting, and it's one of those things where you really have to experience it. And that's how I tell people. When somebody tells me something where I know that I can help, I always ask them, do you want to experience a light language grid? Because it's an experience. It's an experience because it's with you every day. It's never not with you. And so, yeah.
Well, this has been wonderful. My system is, it's not doing well over here. So I hope it's looking good for you, Alice, because it's very slow on my end. It's
is it? Yeah, no,
yeah, it's struggling over here. So
I can see all the comments here.
Okay, it's
there's no new questions, but I can see the comments.
Okay, 'cause I don't know what's going on, but it's not working well for me. So if I disappear, then I'm off on the light language somewhere. But yeah, just so you know. Just so you know. So I guess right now that maybe, because we have like 3 minutes left of the interview with Maria, which has been fascinating. Even Serena wrote, "This is fascinating."
Yeah, I'm seeing some of the comments. Somebody asked how much it cost. It all depends. Somebody can contact me and we can discuss. Yeah.
Right. So I'll just put the banner up for your email address again. And so if we could get everybody to share the video recording.
Yeah.
And then Maria will pick a guest for a 30-minute reading with Alice. With Alice.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to pick somebody?
Yeah, we're just waiting for people to share.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is so slow. What's going on?
Someone's just asked, how long does it take to do a grid, Maria?
Oh, yeah, it can take anywhere from a few hours to sometimes a few weeks. It all depends on how it's coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm a little OCD about getting it just right, just perfect. So sometimes I like to check things. So sometimes it can take, like I said, a few hours to a few weeks.
Awesome. Okay, so people are starting to share. So Serena has shared, Lou Cook has shared, Zoe has shared, Stephanie Lewis has shared, Paul Bannister has shared, Rhonda has shared. I don't know if I said Lou Cook, probably did. Carol McDowell has shared with love, a little extra sauce in there. Rudy Perez, which I think is Tammy, she has shared. Vicky, she shared. Is there a name that sticks out to you, Maria?
Oh, okay. I'm picking one of the names from the shared. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's you.
Gotcha.
Lori
Okay.
Prophet has shared.
Am I saying it correctly?
A choice there.
Zoe Toombs.
Yes. So congratulations, Zoe. If you could reach out to Alice,
Okay.
or else you can reach out to Zoe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Oh, I was just looking for the spelling of that. That's fine. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
So
Oh my God, thank you. So yes.
just send me a message either through my own page or alicetrevorrow@gmail.com, and I will get back to you, and we will definitely arrange a date and time that's suitable. Okay.
So congratulations, Zoe.
So well done. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Maria, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. So grateful that you said yes.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And if anybody has any questions, yeah, feel free to email me, or you can take a look at my website. It's I don't think it's here, but it's
not here.
It's fine. It's mariaadriana.co. It's my name. Feel free to reach out.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. That was very interesting. That was something very different as well. So thank you so much for coming on. It was lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
Luckily, I have a lot of very interesting friends. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, Maria. Well, not to be rude, but I'm going to drop you off or drop you out, as Paul says.
Bye.
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 Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a very interesting lady. You know, when she first told me about what she does, I was like a deer in headlights. You know, it was just, I don't understand. Just explain. And even now, I find it very fascinating. Very fascinating.
Well, that's why I'd asked as well about, was there a book, because I think, if you don't know a lot about it, it would be quite interesting maybe to read up and see, how you could maybe do it yourself, or, how it all takes place, and how long, as Maria said, it just depends, really, doesn't it? It's each individual. So yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
It was. Yes, very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next part is going to be our mediumship. So this will be myself connecting with spirit world, and I'll bring in someone from spirit world like I normally do, and connect with them, reach out to whoever's here tonight, and then Jane will give her version on what she does as well, and she'll connect in as well. So will we get started, Jane? Will we get started?
Yes, and I think I know how to invite people into the studio, and I actually know how to put the link up. I think.
Good.
So
Good.
We'll see what happens.
Brilliant. That's good. Okay. All right. Let's see where. Okay. All right. So I've got a father coming forward. And as he comes forward here, I know that he passed away very suddenly. He had a heart condition, or he had a heart attack anyway. And he passed away just like that. Okay. I feel it. He either passed away while he was at work, or quite close to the vicinity of his work. Let me just, because he's bringing in work. I feel he either passed at work, or he took on well at work, and then was taken to hospital. But there's a connection between this father, the heart condition, and his work as well. And he also brings in about having a daughter, or someone who was like a daughter to him as well. So if anyone can understand some of what I'm just saying at the moment, then please light up. Okay. And let us know. Okay. So I know where we're going. Okay. Anybody so far, Jane?
Nope. Nope.
No one so far.
No.
Okay.
Put the link in. Hopefully it's the right one.
All right. Okay. No bother. Well, this is what I'm getting. Okay. So I could take that. So Liz, is it walkers? And then Dot Cooper says this might be me. Okay, so there's 2 people we've got at the moment, Jane.
Yep.
Okay, so okay, all right. I'm going to just repeat again, and it's important that this information makes sense, okay? Can you understand where Dad took unwell at work, or he took the heart attack at work? Because the work and the heart condition is both coming in quite strongly together, okay? Liz, can you understand exactly what I'm saying here? I've got Liz and Dot there, Jean. Okay.
Yes.
Are they able to come on by any chance?
I hope so.
We're going to try and get you on, okay? And then I can open it up a little bit further with you both. Because your father does talk about his daughter, or someone, it was like a daughter.
So Dot or Liz, can you come into the studio, please?
Okay, Dot Cooper and Liz.
Liz said, I think his work caused the heart attack.
Yeah, okay. Okay, because the work and the heart condition is very much associated together. Okay. And Dot, can you understand this as well with the work and the heart condition? I still feel I'm with Liz, though. There's something, I'm getting pulled to Liz, but I would like just a little bit of clarification with Dot, if she can just acknowledge one way or the other. Okay, is it? I can't go to Stuart because of headset. I do feel very drawn to Liz, though, and I feel I'm getting pulled more to Liz, and I felt that from the very beginning. So could we get Liz on by any chance, Jane? Please?
Every time she comes on, she has a reverberation from her headset, so she said she can't come in because
no. Oh, right. Okay.
But if you, I can read. I can. Oh, there's Dot. I can read her comments if you want to.
We've got Dot then. Okay, and then we've got Liz there as well. Okay.
So I can just put Liz's comments up.
Okay. Right, Liz has got, we had a little girl together, but this is a father I've got. This is a father I have, Liz. Okay. Can you understand this, Dot, as being your dad?
Yeah, I can. He died of a heart attack suddenly, not far from his work. He wasn't actually work. He was retired.
That's fine. Okay, thank you very much. I felt I was on to Liz there, but I'm obviously wrong because I. So let me just connect a bit more. Okay, and now that I've got your voice as well, because as your dad comes forward to you, he talks about the heart attack being very sudden, and he did talk about his work, and he was bringing in both together. So I felt that he passed away either inside the work or somewhere round about where his work was. That was
just
close.
up the road.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And he also brought in again about his daughter. Okay, so I take it you're the daughter, Dot. Okay, that's fine, because he's also bringing in here that he didn't get any warning regarding this happening previously. Okay, but I do feel he was a little bit stressful. There was something going on around him that was making him feel quite stressed. And I feel he talks about a work overload as well. He talks about a work overload as well. But he also brings in that he's absolutely fine. And, he's just said, I didn't see it coming, and I was there before I knew it. Okay. And he said, I'm okay. It's you lot I worry about. Okay. All right. Now he also brings in here now a younger girl, and I don't know if this is his granddaughter or not, or another daughter he's bringing in, but I'm just feel as a granddaughter or a daughter he talks about that's still here. Would you understand that as well?
No.
Okay. Do you understand the younger girl then that's around and about you just now?
What it's in spirit.
No, here with you, Dot. Here
Oh
with
yeah.
you. Yeah. Yeah, because he's talking about the younger girl round about you. So I wasn't sure if this was your daughter or his granddaughter.
Yeah.
Okay, do you understand? Okay, because he's bringing this in as well, and he doesn't want to kind of miss her out of this. Okay, so he's bringing this in, but he's also saying, I'm around you all, and about the changes that's took place regarding the home. Okay, and he says change is good. You can't and he believed in change. He wasn't a man that was stuck in the past or stuck in his old ways. He actually believed in change, and he's glad that things are starting to move and change within the family. Okay, can you also take as well where you would talk about having a brother in spirit world? Okay, because he would like to just say to you that he's met up with his brother in spirit world, and he is also giving me a name here with someone else as well of the name of James or Jim in spirit, because he's bringing in his name in addition. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's bringing both here with that. And he's laughing here, and he's also, I feel though, do you know, he did have a bubbly character. He did have a bubbly character as well. And he's just said, you know, it's like one big party over here. He said, when you think you've met everybody, then somebody else pops up. He said, you know, he's laughing, and he's got quite a deep, hearty laugh, you know, and this is something that he is glad that he is starting to see in you now, where you are starting to smile, you are starting to laugh again, and you are starting to now do things for you. Okay. Okay, you've changed, he said, but you've changed for the better. Okay. Now I'm going to just pass you to Jane and let Jane come in with her version, what she receives as well, Dot.
Okay, so when Alice mentioned the little girl, I received a lot of dizziness and goosebumps, and I heard girly girl, and I heard I felt like, because I'm wearing pink, you know, that tugging on the pink, like, I want that, you know, pink, pink, pink kind of thing. When Alice mentioned the house, anytime Alice said change, woof, I got like super dizzy, and I'm like, stop saying change, because I'm like, I'm going to fall out of my chair. What's happening? You know, even me just saying that, just super dizzy. But, you know, the dizziness brings in the change. Oof, even just saying that, I got to stop saying that word. And then when Alice mentioned brother, especially James and Jim, I felt like water. It's like I went from dizzy to just warmth and water and smooth and big bear hug is what I'm hearing. Just kindness pulls you in. I can see you're tearing up and you're giving me goosebumps. Just really pulls you in. And I feel like he wants to pull you in more for a hug, you know, I just keep seeing bear hug, bear hug, bear hug. It's like he was I'm getting like a bit of pain in my lung area. But it's like he would walk into a room and alchemize the energy is how he's making me feel.
Yeah. Oh boy, Dot, you're loved so much by your dad. You really, really are. Okay.
Yes.
Did you still call him daddy at times? Okay.
Sometimes.
Because, yeah. Because he just said, the reason I said that, he says, I'm her daddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I just, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I never expected that. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh,
As soon as you said, I went, oh my God, that's my dad. I knew.
Yeah. Well, you do, don't you? You do know when it's your own. You do. You know, and you do know he's around you because you feel him, you know, you feel him around you.
Yeah.
He's also talking about the light as well. you thought was a fault with the light, but it's not a fault with the light at all. It's him giving you the sign. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you figured that one out, he said. But you didn't figure it out right away. Okay. Okay. All right. And he found that quite funny, you know.
As you're talking, Alice, about the light, I keep hearing there's going to be more. There's going to be more. So maybe there's going to be, I don't know what, but he's making me feel like there's going to be more signs.
Yeah.
He'll make them obvious.
Yeah. Oh,
And
definitely.
I keep missing things. I keep losing things in the house, and I keep thinking, where is that?
Yeah. He did take the keys, though. He did take your keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your back door.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I've been having problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Now
it all, it makes sense now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
He's having a bit of fun with me.
He sure is. He sure is. But he always did, though. He always
he had
did.
a good sense of humour.
Yeah. He used to he used to play practical jokes on you. He said, you know, you would go away and you come back and say, well, where is that? And he'd hide in it. Yeah. Okay. Because he and sometimes he would put like a magazine or a book or something, and it would be underneath the seat. So he talks about that as well. You come back, well, where is that? And he would just be sitting there quite innocently, So
proper sense of humour.
Naughtiness. Yeah. Yeah. Something come up on the screen there as well. I was going, whoops, what happened there? So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh goodness, there's these signs that keep coming up on StreamYard saying that it's having trouble streaming to Facebook. So
maybe an issue on Facebook. Okay.
I don't know how to get off of this now.
I can remove you, and then you can I'll drop you out.
Oh, I see a cross.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have April in the background. Oh, okay. Zoe says it's working. So.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, that's good then. As long as it's working. Okay.
Okay. Right. So do you have anybody else coming in?
Right. So just give me a few moments, and I'll see what else I'm getting here from Spirit. Okay, I'm just asking to draw a bit closer. Okay.
Oh, Facebook froze.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
What is? Yeah. Oh well, we're still here. We're still
here. Yeah, we can see each other. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So can people still hear us though, Jane? Can people still hear us at the problem?
I'm hoping so. Can people hear us?
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. So as long as
YouTube's working, so that's good. They can hear us.
Well, that's fine. That's all that matters, as long as somebody does. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Right now, let's see where we're going.
Thank you, April.
Okay.
Oh, Facebook's not working.
All right. No bother.
Okay.
I have got sorry, we can YouTube, but Facebook not working. Okay. All right. Good old Facebook, huh?
It's our new platform, I think.
Yo, don't even go there on that subject. Last week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Come back to me, darling. All this keeps popping up. I can't concentrate. What I'm doing.
I know. I hear you.
Stop looking at this because I can't. Right. I'm sorry, I've got all this popped up in my screen.
I know, there's so much stuff popping up on the screen. It's hard to say.
Okay. Right. No problem. I've got quite a tall gentleman coming forward, quite a thin-looking young lad as he comes in here, and he I don't know if his girlfriend is on tonight, or fiance, but I feel this is kind of what he wants to bring in. I feel with him as well that he was kind of mixed up a lot in his head about things. Okay, I can't see who's on now, Jane. I'm going to have to, because I've got all these posts up covering the whole screen.
If you just click on them with your mouse, they'll disappear.
Oh, will they? Good. Right,
That's what I've been doing.
I was trying to do that in case I removed everybody else.
That's what I've just been doing, clicking all that. Because
Okay, that's fine. Okay, right. Oh, I'm back. Okay, right. So, so this is what I'm receiving. A tall lad, quite thin, and I know there was a lot going on in his mind, in his head. He talks about a girlfriend or a fiance that he had before he passed the spirit world. I feel it. He was quite he could be quite lost a little bit in himself at times as well. You know, but he just found that he couldn't. Okay, sorry. He's just said, I couldn't find my path. You see, I couldn't find my path. The path. I just seemed to be all over the place, and I couldn't find my path and where I wanted to go in my life. Okay, and I just feel with him that his funeral was actually massive. Okay, he had a massive funeral. This man. Okay, so I'm just.
Are you getting an age?
Hold on, I'm deleting as I'm talking.
I know it's a lot of sensory overload to see all this stuff.
I don't always get ages, Jane. I don't, because the reason being is I'm not good at age here, so they don't even try to give me age from the other side. Because I'm not good at judging age. Okay, but I will say to you though, he was a young man. He was a young man. He wasn't. You're not talking about somebody. I don't feel he was in his 40s, but I'm frightened to say that in case he was, and he just looked younger. He just seems a lot younger than that. Okay, he seems a lot younger than that. And I also feel that he seemed to move about an awful lot as well from his home. Okay, so there was different houses I feel he stayed in as well. Just couldn't seem to settle down, you know.
So can anybody relate to this?
I don't know.
YouTube, yeah, there's only YouTube now, so Facebook has died.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying froze.
Yeah.
I came from Facebook. We can YouTube, but Facebook not working. Okay, all right. Yes, he was in his 40s, but looked younger. Hey, that's funny because I did say I'm not sure if he was in his 40s, but he looked younger. So thank you. Okay, that's exactly what I did say. So is it Limo di Pimo or is it Limo di Pimo? Yeah.
I will bring the code up, so hopefully
yes, he was in his
get
40s.
into the studio.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, so hold on.
I'm thinking spirit.
Yeah. Oh, well. You're also welcome from physical games. So.
Thank you as well.
I'll be on my way. I gotta go.
Yes, sorry. Okay, my darling. Okay. Do you know he's laughing away here? He's giggling away here. 400 people. He said it was massive. He said the funeral was massive. Absolutely shocked him. He said that there were so many people that attended his funeral. He also where is the lady? Where is the
it's Liz. This is Liz Wakers.
No, who? Not Limo di Pimo.
Yeah, she said I'm Liz Wakers.
Oh.
They've all jumped onto YouTube, so yes, okay, he was a jokester.
Fine. He was a jokester, yeah, because I really do feel him laughing away Okay, that's who I felt I was drawn to earlier on. So I've came back to you in a different way now. So amazing how Spirit do this with us. I love it. Yeah, it made me feel he was a bit of a prankster. But you know, I also feel though that he couldn't settle either. He kind of moved about quite a lot, and there was times that he was quite deep into himself as well. Okay, you know, but I feel he was what he said. I was kind of lost in my own path at times. Okay, but he comes in here and he talks about yeah, okay. He also talks about meeting up with his mum's mum, which is his grandmother in spirit world. And I feel his father's there as well. I feel his father's in spirit too. He talks about, I don't know if this is his own daughter he's bringing in, but he makes me feel he wants to talk about a younger girl. I felt it was his own daughter he was talking about. I don't know if we can get confirmation on that or not from you there, Liz. Are you able to do that? Can you still see? Yeah, people are shocked by his death. Yeah, they would be, because he says that he was kind of he said, I didn't expect the way it happened. I just didn't think it would have ended like that, he said. Okay. He says we both have girls, because he's talking about this. He's bringing this in. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He's just saying he's absolutely fine as well. Where he's absolutely fine. But he talks about one of his daughters as well is going through a bit of a tough time just now. All right. And I don't know if you can understand it, where you're asking questions and she's not kind of answering the questions. It's like you're wanting questions answered in something there as well. That's not coming in, okay? Because it's like she wants to ask questions a lot about his passing, and I feel there's some of it covered a little bit with her. Okay, I don't know why, but this is a way he makes me feel with it. And he okay, right,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So he is around his girls, and he says the questions will keep coming. Okay, can I also feel as well there's something about some of the questions that haven't properly been answered as well. Okay. I want to bring it in both ways. All right. I feel his daughters ask questions about it, but I also feel there is something about his passing where there is still some questions there that a little bit not tied up properly together. Okay, if you can understand it that way. But he's coming forward absolutely fine. He's coming forward with love, and he's also wanting you, and he wants his girls to know that he's okay. He's absolutely fine. Okay. He's also just said, please carry on getting on with your life. Okay. The way it should be. He said, you're alive and I'm here. Okay. But we're still connected in many other ways. Okay. I don't know if you can take a horse symbol, or where he liked horses, or why I'm getting a horse symbol, but he's giving me a horse symbol here as well. Okay. So he's showing me this. So if you can understand that as well. I'm just going to leave you with his love, because I'm not really getting any feedback properly, and it's I can only give so much without actually getting some feedback as well. But I feel that it's very important though that the reason he's came forward is to first say thank you so much, everyone who did love and support me and really did think about me with this big funeral. okay, that he did attend, and also the love going to his girls and the love going to his girlfriend or fiance, partner, okay. A relative of his is linked to horses, okay. That's absolutely fine, because he kept bringing in the horses, okay. So that there is love going around there as well, okay. So I'm going to leave you with all of that, sweetheart, okay. And I'm glad that you can make some understanding of it. That's what it's about, okay. So thank you very much.
Yes, for sure. Well, we've come to we've been doing it for, yeah, that's the word. I'm like, how do I phrase this? Yes,
come to
the end.
Yeah. It's a shame that Facebook got don't know what's going on there, but however, it is what it is, isn't it? And for those who have missed it, we're on YouTube and Spotify. Okay.
Yes, we are. And April, we're sorry we couldn't get to you. We can see you in the back area. So maybe next week you'll be able to come on. But I guess, as they say, that's a wrap. I don't know how to end this.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah,
well, I would
so
like
thank
to,
you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Take care. Stay
And
safe.
we will
Look
see you
after
next
yourself
week.
and each other.
Yes,
Good night.
perfect. Good night.
Wow.